everyone, and welcome to this GCSE Sociology lesson on the Introduction to Sociology unit, looking at the sociological concept of roles. So that's your title, and today's objective is to be able to define and explain the concept of roles as used by sociologists. So it's a word that might pop up in various different situations, and today we're really focusing on how that fits in sociology. So before we move on, a really quick starter. I'd like you to just check your knowledge of what we've learned so far. So I know it's a bit like learning a new language, loads of new words, loads of new key concepts to learn. Can you have a go at this really quick memory platform? 5 sentences. I'd like you to finish them, please. And it would be great if you could do it without looking at your notes. Anything that you do that you've looked up, either researched on the internet or gone back in your previous work, can you write it in a different colour so that I can see and you can see which bits you knew and which bits you didn't know, and where your gaps are for learning. So pause here, copy out the start of the sentences and then finish them, please. Okay, so what is a role? For sociologists, a role is a set of expected behaviours associated with a particular position in society. And by position, it means almost like a part that you're playing. If you think of a role in a play or in a drama production, each one comes with certain expectations, certain things that you are expected to do. And sociologists believe that when you're performing certain roles in society, you play a certain part, you follow certain expected behaviours. So if I give you an example of some of the roles I might play in a particular day, the parts that make up who I am, that's me there in the middle with my daughter Poppy. And in a typical day, obviously perhaps not a coronavirus day, but in a typical day, these are some of the roles that I will play in my daily life. So I am a mum. I have 2 children, Archie and Poppy. So I'm a mum, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, and then I have some of my more professional roles. I'm a colleague, so obviously I work with lots of other staff and teachers. I'm a classroom teacher. That comes with its own expectations and expected roles. I'm the head of sociology, so I'm in charge of all those extra bits and setting new schemes of work and things like that. And I might be a customer, so if I go to the shop or I stop to get petrol on the way to school, I perform those roles. And sociologists believe that each one of those roles comes with its own expected norms. So a norm for a classroom teacher, for example, is to plan lessons, to stand up at the front to deliver them. The norm for a daughter might be to look after her parents, to check that they're okay, to go and visit them from time to time. As a friend, I have to, text my friends, check that they're okay, spend time with them, have fun with them. As a customer, generally you pay for things. Each role that you perform in society comes with its own expected behaviours, and that's my example of my little sort of roles map. For a task, guess what I'd like you to do? I'd like you to do your own one. So you can either draw yourself a small self-portrait, stick person is fine if you're not very good at art like me, or you can, if you're doing it on the computer, you could maybe find a little picture of yourself, pop it in the middle, and around your image of you, in one colour, can you write down all the roles that you might play in an average day or an average week? And then in a different colour, can you just jot down for each one what are some of the expected norms for that role? So just 1 or 2 norms per thing would be great. So it could be, in an average day, you're going to be a student. What are you expected to do as a student? What are the norms for being a student? So pause here and have a go at that task. Next concept I want to explain to you is the idea of role conflict. So for sociologists, they would believe that sometimes performing one role in society might clash with what's needed to perform another one. So for example, as a working teacher mum, that's me, sometimes it's tough to fit in all the things that need to be done at home and for school. So for example, if my son's assembly falls at the same time as one of my lessons, there's a conflict. And in my role, am I a good teacher at that point, or am I a good mum at that point? And there's a conflict and a clash between what's expected of me in that situation. Young people sometimes find a clash or a conflict between being a friend and being a good son or daughter. So perhaps your parents have set some boundaries and told you not to do certain things, but your friends are trying to encourage you to go along with them, and it might bring some conflict. You don't know whether to put your role as a son or daughter ahead of your role as a friend. Sociologists call this role conflict. So when two roles clash and don't necessarily work well together, we call it role conflict, where people don't know perhaps how to behave in a certain situation. Quick task on role conflict then, final task for today. I'd like you to write a short story or a couple of paragraphs at most to explain what might happen when someone experiences role conflict. So it can be a true story based on your own experiences. So it might be something that you've experienced in your life and you want to write me a short story about it, or it could be entirely made up. I really don't mind as long as you show me you understand the concept of role conflict. Please, though, make sure that you include which roles the person is experiencing that are in conflict with each other, why those roles are in conflict, what's happened to bring those roles into conflict, how do they choose to deal with the role conflict, and what's the outcome? Do they make the right choice or the wrong choice, do you think? Does it work or does it not? Can't wait to see what you've got. Please don't forget to send it all through to me on Show My Homework. Thank you.